Okay, we'll get this thing started sometime.
This is Radio Free Hollywood.
For uncensored news, millions of Eastern Americans switch on Radio Free Hollywood, the new sound from outside. This is Radio Free Hollywood.
From Hollywood, it's Radio Free Hollywood, giving you the Hollywood view to those of you that are caught behind the iron red curtain. I'm Steve Jacob, and I'm here with my host, John Kassir. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
Yeah, okay, well, that was predictable.
I'm an
we have a
actor.
He's an actor.
And
yes.
I am a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, yeah, I used to be.
It's the
I
opening
used
to
to
the
be a member of
SAG-AFTRA Awards, which are
SAG-AFTRA once
coming up
upon a
soon.
time.
You know, they interview
Yeah.
people sitting in their seats, and they go, well, I moved from Oklahoma and thought that I would never get a job. And after 12 years of working in a restaurant, I finally got hired. My name is John Kassir, and I'm an actor.
No,
Those are the
okay.
openings to the SAG Awards now. You've not seen them?
No, I haven't. If I was sitting there, it would be, I got a bunch of work when I was 19 years old until I was 24, and then I couldn't get arrested. So I decided to
Because
do
you're a
something else. I'm
actor.
Steve Jacob, and I was an actor.
I was an actor.
Oh, boy.
I made
how
more
you
money
doing,
street
John?
performing in front of the Metropolitan Museum of Art than I ever made on Broadway. Because I'm
Right.
an actor.
Yeah, I made more money removing asbestos than I made as an actor because I'm an actor. And
That
I did remove
explains a
asbestos.
lot.
Doesn't it, though? It's like I don't have any symptoms, but I do have those lawyers for mesothelioma on
Oh, my
speed dial.
God. Yeah. Yeah, I just realized one of the reasons I woke up this morning and couldn't crawl out of bed was probably the air quality from the fires.
Yeah,
Because
I-
here we are in Hollywood.
well, that's what it is right now. You know, the air quality sucks, and we're trying to figure out, everything that we're supposed to do next.
Yeah.
Business is sort of coming back right away, so that's
There
good.
are
I
some
saw,
things, I've been getting
Yeah.
texts from some of my favorite businesses saying we're back up and running, and I'm really happy to hear that. Even in Topanga, which was hit hard by the fire right next to the Palisades where the fire started, and they were the first responders did an amazing job saving most, not all, of the people's homes in that area, but they did quite a stand for many, many days against the fire.
well, we have the best firefighters in the world. I don't care what Donald Trump says.
He
You
doesn't
don't
know
have
anything.
fire response
Yeah.
better than the state of California. It doesn't exist anywhere.
No, or
Doesn't
any
matter what he
emergency
says.
response. Yeah, they've like won awards for their response systems from anywhere in the world for every response system.
Yeah.
Nobody could have predicted what that situation was going to be. That was just a bad situation.
Well, yeah, you couldn't predict it, but the way they responded to it was quite impressive, because the way they responded to it, it could have been a lot worse, believe it or not, than it was. It could have burned down literally half of the city if it was a subpar response.
Right.
The way
And then all the other
tankers
fires
came
that
in.
were cropping up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The one that was
Exactly.
near us, the Kenneth fire, if they hadn't jumped on that one, I have no doubt it would have made its way towards our area quickly.
Yeah, no, just impressive. Kudos to the teams on the ground and the airborne firefighters. Those guys are incredibly impressive, doing a very, very, very dangerous job. You're flying these huge planes into these situations where it's smoky. Half the time they can't even see where they're going, and they're just like amazing.
It's
So
true.
today we are going to talk about we're going to talk about Caroline Kennedy's letter to the Senate committee about her cousin Robert Kennedy Jr. We're going to talk about Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's sort of ham-handed and ill-timed plea to bring all production to the state of Texas. We're gonna have Don't Eat Anything Bigger Than Your Head this week, and the most horrifying person of the week. But okay, so Caroline Kennedy's message to the Senate Confirmation Committee about her cousin RFK Jr. It's a long letter, but I just want to read a couple of snippets here. And I want you to respond.
Isn't every other
John.
word predator? Like every other word is predator.
Just about.
Right?
Okay. Here's what she said. She said, I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets because he himself is a predator. He has always been charismatic, able to attract others through the strength of his personality, willingness to take risks, and break the rules. I watched his younger brothers and cousins follow him down the path of drug addiction. His basement, his garage, his dorm room were all the centers of the action where drugs were available. And he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in the blender to feed his hawks. It was often a perverse scene of despair and violence. Yeah, you didn't know that part? The chickens and mice in the blender?
I used to.
I mean, I make a
about
smoothie
frog
in the
blender,
morning, but
and it's just like that. I don't think I'll ever do it again. Just hearing that, Yeah.
baby chickens and mice in a blender. Oh, boy, it's like the only thing. The only reference I have for that is the Bass-O-Matic. Remember on Saturday night, Dan Aykroyd doing the Bass-O-Matic?
Take the full bass and put it in the blender. Take the bass, that's the whole bass, and put it in the, Dan Aykroyd. Put it in the blender. Blend-O-Matic.
Yeah, but the bass wasn't alive when he did it, okay? These are live baby chickens and like little cute little yellow little things. Plop it in the blender, couple mice, and what?
Why wouldn't you just feed it to the hawks as is? I don't know. I guess
because he's obviously
enjoyed blending them.
That's a sociopath.
Sadistic?
I'm sorry. Well, sadistic. They say you can tell someone who's going to be like a psycho killer when they grow up by the way that they treat animals when they're kids. I mean, this is kind of like that. This is like you're willing to take it. I mean, this is okay. Mitt Romney was in college and he, drove home with his dog in a cage strapped to the top of the car. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's not bad. This, who was it? Tulsi Gabbard, I think, killed a puppy for some reason. This guy
it wasn't going to do its job well, is what she said. But yeah,
it showed liberal tendencies.
The whole time playing in the background, Elvis. Dying all the time.
And all the time. Okay.
You ain't never caught.
What?
Christy
sorry,
Nome,
Tulsi.
you.
It was Christy Nome that killed the dog. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, we don't think we blame it on the wrong person for sure.
God knows that we're going on the internet and we don't want anything to be inaccurate.
Yeah,
I know, right? So she goes on to say, but siblings and cousins who Bobby encouraged down the path of substance abuse suffered addiction, illness, and death, while Bobby has gone on to misrepresent, lie, and cheat his way through life. Okay, just remember, this is a family member saying this.
Yeah.
Bobby preys on the desperation of parents and sick children.
Bobby.
I grew up with Bobby. Bobby preys on the desperation of parents and sick children vaccinating his own children while building a following by hypocritically discouraging other parents from vaccinating theirs. Even before he fills this job, his constant denigration of our healthcare system and the conspiratorial half-truths he has told about vaccines, including in connection with Samoa's deadly 2019 measles outbreak, has cost lives. And now we know Bobby's crusade against vaccination has benefited him in other ways too. His ethic report makes it clear that he will keep his financial stake in a lawsuit against an HPV vaccine. In other words, he is willing to enrich himself by denying access to a vaccine that can prevent almost all forms of cervical cancer and which has been safely administered to millions of boys and girls. I mean, this kind of leaves me speechless here. It doesn't. This is a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
But the amazing thing is, it doesn't leave some of the lawmakers there speechless, especially the Republican ones, to come out and say, I have, feel confident you'll have no problem being, endorsed, and I'm like, are you listening? Do you not hear? Do you not see? I just, it's beyond me. I mean, do you really need to suck up to Donald Trump that much to confirm somebody who is dangerous to the country? I'm just, this is just status quo. There's become no semblance of caring about the public. It really has become a game between those people and themselves. It's no longer just Donald Trump as a narcissist. It's the entire political system.
Right. Well, the problem is, if they disagree with Trump, if they do things that Trump doesn't want them to do, then he'll get rid of them. I mean, it's very much like an autocratic thing, except the tactics are different. The tactics are more about, if you give me a hard time, I'm going to primary you, and you're not going to have a job anymore. That's what it is. I mean, in real places that do this sort of thing, those people just disappear. And who's to say that won't happen someday? But it's not happening now. It's a more genteel way of getting rid of people, which is, whatever. He's fucking people. Yeah. It's like, and don't get me started on, on Trump and his crypto coins, and he's just enriching
I mean,
himself.
even who's being sued? Who's in the lawsuit with him? CNN or somebody for defamation or something? And they're Warner. Was it Warner? I can't. Time Warner, maybe.
Yeah. It was CNN, and I think that they donated $22 million to his presidential museum fund to make it go away, and it's like, that benefits him, and they paid all the lawyer fees, so that benefits him.
And well, they're going to do it the same thing because of his position as president could, make their lives difficult, so they have no choice. I mean, it's, this country is now a hostage to this guy.
Yeah, I agree. Which is why we need to broadcast to the people behind the iron red curtain. We should just keep referring to it as the iron red curtain.
Yes. I would really like it to be platinum, but,
Why? Why?
Because we're in Hollywood, and it should be a beautiful.
Because it should be a beautiful metal. Well, it'll be platinum on our side of it, John. On the other side, it's like cast iron. It's like the color of your cast iron pans. Black, just black,
and seasoned. Okay. Black and seasoned.
And seasoned. Yeah. Okay, our second story. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson have made a long-form commercial. I think it's aimed at Texas legislators. to raise the tax incentives and bring more film production to Texas, which on the face of it, yeah, it's kind of fine. But given the fires just happened and what Hollywood is going through, they denigrate Hollywood a lot in this thing, and it's tone deaf and it's ill timed. But let's take a listen. Let's go to the videotape so we can make fun of it. Go ahead, Will, roll it.
You ever wonder if this industry of ours is just chasing its own tail?
No. I don't wonder. Restrictions, regulations, nickel and diamond productions, political lectures. Hollywood, it's a flat circle wood. Round and round.
You know
like
what
a
that
record with the
means.
sound off.
So what, you just want to turn the record off?
No. I want to change the tune.
You know, I got a CD of Jonas Brothers B-sides. Real deep cuts.
That's the best thing in
This
it,
industry's
actually,
like
the Jonas
somebody's
Brothers
memory
thing.
of an
The
industry.
thing is, it makes you
Memory's
believe
fading.
like they
I'm
don't
talking
even
about
believe
a
what
whole
they're
new
saying.
hub
You know?
for film and television, a renaissance, a
New
rebirth.
Hollywood.
How about a wholesale takeover?
Yeah. Small fraction of Texas budget surplus could turn this state into the new Hollywood.
Well, but we're not going to call it Hollywood. We'll call it, like, Fort Worth, Beaumont,
Austin,
Houston.
El Paso,
Longview,
McAllen.
Brown.
Yeah,
Why don't you just
Road.
call it the Dust Bowl?
Yeah.
McConaughey, where are you guys? I'm already on set.
And
Texas has pulled
what
a
is he
boatload of money
wearing?
for film incentives last session. In this session, the sky's the limit.
No, we heading to Texas, Billy Bob.
All right, well, the barbecue guy just dropped the grub off, so you might want to get on down here. It looks damn good.
Yeah,
Billy Bob?
well, I like that
You're
part
on
too.
fire.
I like
I'm
the
going to
barbecue
entice
part.
you from Hollywood with
Yes,
barbecue.
I'm going to give you ribs.
It's Renee. Renee.
Hey, y'all, I just heard from Billy Bob. Told me you're heading to Texas.
That was quick.
That's quick.
Yeah.
Well, count me in.
Yeah, I think
I've
she
been
just
hotel
didn't have
hopping in all
anything
these
else
other
to
states
do
for
that
way
day.
too long. And I get it. I mean,
She
making
was
a
at
production
Topanga.
is hard.
Where's the
And
southern
if all these
accent?
Making a
other states are gonna
production
offer
is
an
hard.
incentive, then
Making
that's
a
where they
production
keep
is
going,
hard.
You know? I just wish we could bring some of these productions home to Texas.
Well, get down here. Come on.
She makes a good
She
point.
never made a
Why should
production.
all
She
these
just
other
leaves
states
her
take
trailer and
advantage of
goes
this
to set.
investment, but not Texas?
Exactly. We shouldn't have to shoot in Georgia
Born in Mexico.
Or South Carolina.
or Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Why don't we just keep that money in Texas?
Ain't all that money like corporate welfare for big Hollywood studios?
No, what it's not.
Lumber
Or
yards,
big Hollywood
restaurants,
stars like you?
hotels, housing, thousands of jobs.
Real Texas business owners and citizens. You see, every dollar spent from this incentive puts $4 back in the
Yeah,
state
okay,
of
see,
Texas.
That's good
this stuff
ROI.
I all
Productions
kind
Which
of,
haven't
begs
where
one
incentives
thing.
are.
I agree with.
Texas has
Which
the
begs
best
one
land,
thing.
best culture.
So why not
What
the
about-
best incentives?
And look, it's not just
Locations.
films with A-list
I mean,
talent either.
is
It's
everything
also
gonna
the
take
Well,
place
they,
in Texas
they're
commercials,
going
now?
to say,
local music
yeah, they
videos.
have all the
Utilize
locations you
local
need.
infrastructure. So you got all that out-of-state money going into Texans' pockets.
You're telling me my barber is going to benefit from
That's a good
Texas
line,
film
too.
incentives?
Maybe not your barber, but barbers. Sure.
You know, it just occurred to me that Texas is bigger than most countries. I mean, we got a greater variety of locations.
Yeah,
than
they're going to
anywhere.
locations.
We got deserts, oceans, we got forest, we got rolling hills. Is there anything we don't have?
It's time for Texas to become the home for telling stories that people want to see and hear.
Sounds like it's time for Texas to roll camera.
Yep. So what do you say, Texas legislature? You don't like what Hollywood's been dishing? Let's take over the kitchen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right? Messed up.
We don't need to see the credits. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, there's just like one way to respond to any of this, and that is the fact that if you really want people to understand, you know, why the Hollywood system needs to be preserved and revived and whatever else needs to be done to make it healthy, is this is where the dreams come. This is where the people who make all this happen come. They don't just come because, hey, I'm going to move to Texas in hopes of becoming an actor, in hopes of becoming a producer,
Right.
in hopes of becoming part of it. No, I'm coming here to see if I can get my name on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And
Well,
those
yeah.
dreams translate directly into what we create that makes money. And if you don't understand that, go to Texas and invest in oil because you're in the wrong business to make money. You know, it's about those dreamers and to continue to, support those dreams, to bring people to the land of dreams in order to create those things for not only for the present but for the future. I mean, that's the saddest thing. I mean, it's soul crushing to see that those opportunities. I feel for the future of our industry, not just because of where it's going or where it's being produced, but for the idea that it no longer encompasses what it actually is, which is dreams come to life that become not only it's the culture, and the culture is here. And if you're not going to support that culture, you're not going to produce things in the future that will not only be wonderful, but also make you money.
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree with all this. What they're leaving out, and what speaks to what you just said about people come to California to become actors, become producers, is they came to California to become actors. And Hollywood is what made them. And now, my problem with it is now, after they're made, they go live in Texas and they're shitting all over Hollywood and kind
Yeah,
of
what is the hell
cheapening
is that?
everything. Yeah, cheapening everything that went into giving them the careers that they had. Yes. I mean, Hollywood didn't give them careers. They're very good actors. They're fine actors, extremely talented. And they got where they are on on their talent. And that's
Yeah.
great. But they needed a system. They needed a pipeline, and the pipeline was in Hollywood, and they used that. And for them to then say, well, we don't need Hollywood is very disingenuous. And again, the timing of it right after the fires, the tone deafness of it right after the fires it's really kind of gross. But I do
Well,
see
it's
a, I do
suicide
see a,
on top of it.
yeah, exactly. I do see an opportunity here, though, and that is, I believe, and kind of behind the scenes, we're poking at it, that there needs to be a rebuttal to this. There needs to be some people in Hollywood who do the same kind of film. And that very well may create somewhat of a tax incentive war. And that would be a good thing. But California has to win it. And
Oh yeah,
that
for
is the
sure.
crucial thing.
Yeah. Well, let's just pretend that was their motivation.
That was not their motivation.
Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend.
Let's pretend it was, you know.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
tone deaf is the right word for it. It really,
yeah,
I mean, I don't
in
know if
this
they were paid
environment,
to
I
do
think,
it or whether they have a personal investment in that happening. But come on, it's just, yeah, it's, I don't know. People think they want something based on, the hate of other areas of, whatever they believe is standing in the way of the price of their eggs. I mean, talk about tone deaf this week when an airliner coming out ready to land into Reagan Airport, DC Airport, crashed into a Black Hawk helicopter that was where it was not supposed to be, where it was not supposed to be, and somehow Donald Trump was saying it was because of diversification that it happened.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm just
I saw that on
going,
Reddit
what
this
is
morning.
wrong with you
It's terrible.
people? Why would you, first of all, why would you, anybody else believe that for a second? Because they want to, because they want to perpetuate that hate. But seriously, to say that, you know, I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, to be on the other
Not
end of that.
everything.
You know,
Yeah, not everything is a political cudgel, and everything now is used as one. These, and I don't know if you read the reports, but there were kids on that plane. They were coming back from a figure skating training
12-year-old,
in
13-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's being used to try to support his DEI initiatives, or anti-initiatives. It's like disgusting. It's disgusting. And when Hollywood is down, then they're saying, bring things to Texas because it's not Hollywood. Come on, man. Not everything's got to be political like this. It's like, can't you just care
Yeah.
about people?
Well, they looked in the camera and said, hey, Texas, you don't like what, Hollywood is putting out there, How about bringing
We'll
it
make
to
the
Texas?
same stuff you hate in Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the point of that was.
I mean, entertainment is entertainment. They produce every kind of entertainment. What are you saying? That people are hawking, things on people that they don't want to see. You have every streaming channel possible where you can see just about anything you want. And where most of it originates, right here in Hollywood, whether
In
they
one
pull
way
the
or another.
strings on it in
Mhm.
one way or another, and you want to watch one of your reality shows with the guys that spend their life in a duck blind, or carving wood with a chainsaw. I mean, very entertaining stuff. Somebody here had to pull the string on that and to say, you know what, there's people that want to see this, and we're going to make it for them.
Yeah,
Nobody
That's
just
exactly how
went,
it happens.
yeah.
Things get greenlit
Nobody
here.
just said,
They don't get greenlit
oh
in
yeah,
Amarillo. So,
no.
get a clue, guys.
Because you don't have the infrastructure. You don't have the infrastructure for it.
No.
And this infrastructure is tried and true throughout the history of the media. And, for people to go, well, I mean, you know what I've noticed lately, since people are afraid they're not going to be able to use TikTok anymore. Now my Instagram pages are, things that come up are like all the young women who come on and do a dance
Their
with
dance
their
in front of
breasts
a
or
ring
their
light.
booty. Not
Yeah.
even, yeah.
Mhm.
And but it's all like shaking breasts and shaking booties and stuff. Going, as long as I'm getting as many followers as possible, I will do this with myself. And I'm going, no. And now the thing that actually was conversations between people and social media, which is social, has become pornography on some level, and everybody's okay with that. And I'm just like going, this is it's disheartening, because you move everything out of Hollywood, and that's what you're going to get is entertainment. Entertainment is just going to be whatever is made for can be made in a dust bowl of Texas, and then to say that that's I don't know. I think people
Wow.
don't understand what I'm saying. It's
That was a good rant. Well, let's lighten the mood here a bit.
okay.
Let's something a little more positive, well, actually, I don't know if it's positive. It's the don't eat anything bigger than your head. John, do your voice.
Don't eat anything bigger than your head. Head.
Thank you. All right, today we're going to talk about Walter Hudson. June 5th, 1944 to December 24th, 1991. He was an American man and the holder of the Guinness World Record for the largest waist circumference at 119 inches around. Like, my
That's
waist size is
302
34.
centimeters for those of you outside the country, just so you know. It's
I'm glad we clarified that.
Thanks.
At his heaviest in September 1987, he weighed 1,197 pounds. For our European people, 543 kilograms, making him the heaviest person alive at the time and the
Or
sixth
4,000
heaviest person in
stone.
medical history. 4,000 stone.
He's 4,000 stone.
Well, isn't a stone? What's a stone? Is a stone 10
I don't know.
pounds?
I
25
thought it was
pounds?
150 pounds.
I
No,
don't remember.
I don't know.
A stone.
Hey Siri, what's a stone?
14 pounds.
14 pounds.
14 pounds. So he was
That's it.
100 stones.
Wow.
Okay. So Hudson described this is the part I think is great. Hudson described his typical daily diet to People magazine as consisting of 2 boxes of sausages, 1 pound of bacon, 1 dozen eggs, and a loaf of bread for breakfast. 4 Big Macs,
That's
4
for
double
breakfast.
cheeseburgers, and 8 large 4 Big Macs, 4 double cheeseburgers, and 8 large portions of French fries for lunch, and 3 large ham steaks or 2 chickens. If he got them from RFK, they were pureed.
Blended.
Well blended, 4 baked potatoes, 4 sweet potatoes, and 4 heads of broccoli for dinner. Each meal would be accompanied by 6 U.S. quarts of soda and the
just that
better part
alone.
of a large cake for dessert, plus snacks throughout the day. You got a snack, you get a little bit hungry. So, according to Jet magazine, Hudson's breakfast was 1 dozen eggs, 1 dozen rolls, and 2 pounds of bacon. Well, that's different, but, well, what does Jet magazine know? I'm going with the first part. So this is the guy, Dick Gregory kind of tried to take this guy under his wing for a while.
I remember.
And he went and... but remember that? He put him on a diet and got him he got him down to like 600 pounds, which... Okay, that was good, but then I guess Dick got a gig or something and left, and he went right back up to 1,200 pounds. So
We didn't have anybody smacking
the other
the
thing
food
about
out
this
of
guy
his
when
hands.
he exactly stop it.
Yeah. Put it down. Put the Coke down. Put the Coke down.
Put it down. Put it down. So anyway, so when he died, they had to take off the side of his house to get him down, get him out. Wow. They had to cut a 15 by 15 hole in the house to get his.
There's so many, it's
body
like
out.
It's like the scene in Detective Story where Kirk Douglas has found out that his wife had back in 1940s, it takes place, has had an abortion. He goes, I wish I could saw off the top of my skull and take my brain and hold it under the faucet and wash away the dirty pictures that you put there. It's like just the thought of this guy eating all that food and like how did, I don't know, what did he do? Live on a bed?
First of all, where did he get the money?
Yeah, a bed/toilet. I mean, what did he live on? I mean, it's just like, oh my God. The inhumanity. I mean, he literally was the size of a Zeppelin.
Well, see, I think Monty Python could have done a lot with this.
They did. Just one more wafer thin.
Oh, they did. Just one more
bites,
wafer.
just one.
That's
Bucket boy! Bucket boy!
Which was good. Yeah, no, I'm thinking more of the Holy Grail when they're going through the town. Go, bring out your dead, bring out your dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, I got a chainsaw this size of the house off.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I need 30 guys to help me drag this guy out.
No, it's sad. I mean, really.
I don't know why we're laughing about this. It's incredibly sad, but
No, it's absurd. It's absurd to think being away from it, But when you talk about, I remember them interviewing the guy in bed and stuff when you were talking about the Dick Gregory references, But it is, and it was sad. I mean, 1991, is that when he died? It said, yeah, I think.
No, well, it's 35 years ago.
Yeah.
I think enough time has passed.
Yeah.
We can get away with
You can't say too soon.
With making fun of
Too
him.
soon? No.
Yeah. It's too soon? No, I don't think it's too soon.
No. I mean, the guy could have used some Ozempic today, but,
I don't. All the Ozempic in the world would not have helped this guy.
No, we're making jokes because it sounds so absurd and unbelievable. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I still wouldn't be able to fathom it. Obviously, he ate something bigger than his head every day, every
a lot
morning.
Of things that were bigger than his head.
And snacks during the day.
Basis.
I mean, what
and snacks.
What did he have time
What did he
to
snack on?
It took him 3 hours to eat his breakfast. It was like, when did he have time to snack?
Yeah,
And like you said, where did he get the money for it? It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, where did he get the money for it?
But Trump has promised to bring down the price of eggs, so.
Yeah, he said a lot of stuff. He said first day, the price of eggs was supposed to go down on his first day in office.
Yeah.
And I believe the price of eggs has gone up since he's been in office.
Oh, it has.
He also said he would, on his first day, he would end the war in Ukraine. I believe that is still going on.
It is.
So, yeah.
He's more worried about freeing 1,600 people, some of which assaulted police officers who died and committed suicide from the trauma of the situation, but they're back on the street. I mean, that's.
Well, one cop got pepper sprayed by a guy who got let go, and he died of a stroke the next day.
Yeah,
that was what happened to that guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe like people who weigh 1,200 pounds. Maybe that can be Melania Trump's new initiative. Instead of be better, it should be thinner.
Well, that's something to be put on the plate for RFK Jr., I mean.
Along with pureed chickens.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the hawk diet. I'm going to put you on the hawk diet.
Some chickens and
you
mice.
don't even have to afford it. All you got to do is buy yourself a rat zapper, and we're ready to go.
That's right. You're ready to go. Which leads us to our horrifying person of the week.
God.
Horrifying person of the week. Well, obviously it's RFK Jr. Well, for me anyway. I mean, what can you say? I mean, we'll go back to it.
There's a theme to
chicken
it.
in a blender.
Chicken in a blender. I mean, you could at this stage of the game, you're not going to get people to agree about anything. So I guess it's got to come from us personally, right? I mean, there's no week where it's not, for me, the most horrifying person of the week is Donald Trump. So I guess we'll just keep him out of the scenario, right?
Yeah, we would just be doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
which maybe we should, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how entertaining that is.
Well, it depends
But
on how he
RFK,
was horrifying that particular week, you know.
well, it's true. See, I'm not sure if
But
I
I
meif
mean, the most
RFK is the most
horrifying,
horrifying.
the most horrifying thing in the news for me from a person was him trying to blame this airplane crash on freaking diversity. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You're the president of the United States, and you can't be comfortable enough with the position you're in to show some decency, some human decency. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's a no. The decency, I believe, is what's missing from the discourse.
Totally. Which is why they're the most horrible human being.
It's like, and I don't know where we got to the place
of the week.
I don't know where we got to the place of
Horrifying.
Of you don't have to be decent anymore. You can say whatever it is, and you can like hurt whoever you want to hurt. And it's, I don't know. It feels bad.
Not only does it feel bad, it also is. It will have long-term effects on the next generation who are being brought up with it. You know, there was so many. I watched Fire Aid last night, and not only was it an amazing concert with amazing people giving their time to try to help so many people. If you got to see not only the wonderful performances, but also the heartfelt, and so many of those people lost their own homes. You know, there were people that came out on stage, and you know, Billy Crystal and what's the young man's name there from the new Maverick movie, Teller, Miles Teller, and I mean different people coming out and saying, you know, I lost my home, you know, I lost everything that supports my life, you know, and they're going to rebuild their lives that way, and you know, but the running theme was how well people have stepped up in this situation. You know, it's really easy to say New York or California or Chicago or one of these big cities are soulless, where people don't give to one another and they don't step up for one another. Well, that hasn't been my experience in either one. In all the years I lived in New York, I was there during September 11th, and people stepped up for one another like you wouldn't believe. The kindness that people showed one another, and the same things here in L.A. And it's real easy to forget that you're human beings when you're surrounded by 3,000 pounds of metal when you drive down the road every day and you don't have to actually talk to people. And, you know, but to see communities come together and people who have lost their own things but know that they're better off than a lot of other people, to spend their time, their resources, and the audience that they have to help. It was just so moving and so mind-blowingly beautiful, and it almost feels like the proper time to see that with what's going on, you know, that people need to have humanity. I mean, you know, I saw the press conference with Donald Trump, who came here talking about the fires and how he was going to bring water, you know, and whatever came out of his mouth, that was just a pack of lies. You know, you hope some of it's true. You hope that he does the right thing. But just to see him be softer towards California, who he's always been hard on, just because. And there's a lot of people that voted for you, Donald Trump, here. So, you know, you better take heed of that. But, you know, there's, you know, because people generally, he can't win in this state when it comes to, you know, his types of politics and the way he treats the world. To see him soften enough that this disaster is that high profile and this disaster is that crushing and of a thing to happen to so many people for people to have a heart about it was, does it really take that for people to have humanity towards one another?
Well, sometimes I think you lose sight in regular times until there's a disaster, because it's true. It's like in LA right now, there's a real sense of community. There was a real sense of community in New York after 9/11.
Yeah.
There was a real sense of community across the United States after 9/11.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It would be nice to see that right now, instead of people just going, well, California deserved that, and they're all just pampered movie stars, which is not true. It's like we have changed. We've changed in the last 25 years, where we can't come together as a community of humans, of people, that everybody is an enemy for some reason. And
well, it goes to your question about. It goes to your question about, the start of the conversation about why. Sorry, I can't put it exactly into words the way you did, but about the way that people see things, about that people can't, they're so quick to judge other people on the other side and politicize everything, and to say, well, you know what, I have felt that I was a have-not for all this time, and I'm given a voice now, and if I want to say I hate this, or I hate being told this, or I hate people that aren't like me, I have a right to do that, because the guy who's the head of the government tells me I'm allowed to do that. And as a result, they fed him.
But here's the disconnect.
It's not humane to do it.
You have a right to, right? You have a right to say whatever you want. But what I think the failing of Donald Trump would be, but you have a right to do it without decency. You don't have to be decent anymore. You can just say whatever vile shit you want to is coming out of your head. Because let's face it, all kinds of stuff rattles around in our brains that we never say, because before it comes out of our mouth, we go, yeah, that's not very nice. So you don't say it. But it seems like we're at a place where you say, okay, you don't need that filter anymore. You just say whatever you want to say. But what that knocks down is the culture. What that knocks down is community. What that knocks down is a sense of humanity. What that knocks down is decency. So,
well, it's not only
I'd
I was going to say, it's not only a big part of it.
Well, I'd like to say whatever. Go on.
No, I'll hold my.
Well, we
thought.
have this weird lag thing where, I'd like to say whatever goes around comes around, but that would be looking for retribution somehow, and I just want everybody to. Can't we just all kind of go in the same direction?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's being it not only did Donald Trump feed that, but they fed Donald Trump, because he goes, oh, well, that's what they want. I'm going to give it to them.
Right.
I'm going to make those people. So they vote for me, and they put me into power. I'm going to give them exactly that, and I'm going to be like that too, even though I already was like that. And let's not forget, nobody has to say it to anybody's face anymore. They can just go type it into their social media, and they can put it out there without any ramification. If you don't like what the person says back to you, boop, you're gone. Boop, you're gone. That's why, why else would somebody like the President of the United States not get in front of the audience, in front of everybody, and sincerely tell them how they feel? No, he has to go on to social media and say hateful things about people. And then when he's asked to defend it, he goes, well, it could have been because of that. They could have been. And you're like, no, you said it was. Well, I wrote it was, but yeah, I'm saying to you, it could have been. And it's just like, wait a minute,
Well, there's no value to the truth anymore either. That's the other thing.
It.
So,
there's no value to the truth, and people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just think that everything they read in print is the truth. So if some schmo who has no reference and no facts to back up anything posts it, and they're popular or not popular, somebody go, well, I read it on the internet and it's true. And you're like,
right.
No, it's actually not. Do your research.
Yeah, but it's not even just the internet. It's like, the internet, people say anything on the internet. Commentators will say anything on Fox News. Half the stuff they say on Fox News isn't true. Donald Trump.
That's what they've all gone. That's all they've
had
gone to
35,000.
TV.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
I was reading this morning that was it the Coast to Face the Nation? No. Somebody is leaving MSNBC's.
Yeah, you're talking about Jim Acosta.
Yeah, you're losing people like that because it's gone, because a lot of the news programs and news channels are become digital channels, and they've basically become places for opinion, like social media, and so they don't want to pay people as much either.
Yeah, well, did you see Jim Acosta's farewell? His farewell video?
I have to go see it.
It was great. And he was talking about integrity, and he was talking about truth, and he was talking about, this is getting too hard. It's like people aren't interested in the truth anymore. That is, it's a big thing. But if you haven't seen it out there, you should go see it. You should call it up and see what this man has to say. He's a smart guy. But anyway, that's our rant for this week. I think that we should wrap this up before we make ourselves even more depressed. We promise to be back next week with more hopeful stuff. Well, right now we're hopeful. We're hopeful that RFK doesn't get confirmed, even though we know he probably will.
It's insane. Somebody's got to say it out loud, and even if you don't agree with us, take a look at what we're saying. It's just, we're having conversation here. Everything we say is, a lot of it is our observation or our opinion. Please make your own and have an intelligent dialogue about it. I have so many people. I've had people go, "Oh, you need to have conversations of discourse with people to get them to understand what the voters have done in this situation and what the ramifications." I go, no, I don't. I need for them to discover it on their own, because nobody wants to be told what to watch and interpret from what they see. Please interpret for yourself what you see, and you can only respect what you've come to know, and educate yourself in situations, especially for things that may affect you personally. And there are facts and there are facts, and then if you seek deep enough, you will find the facts to things that you really want the answers to. If you just want to be a hater and you just want to be contrarian to the other side, go ahead. But that's not community. That's not getting along. That's not getting things done. Things get done in the gray areas. And as long as everything is so black and white, nothing will get done to anybody's satisfaction.
I agree.
So,
and while you were talking, I realized that I came up with a slogan for RFK Jr.'s next presidential run, of which I'm sure there will be one, and it would be a chicken in every blender. That's it from Hollywood. I'm Steve Jacob.
And I'm John Kassir in a blender.
Thanks for listening. Till next time.
This has been Radio Free Hollywood. Radio Free Hollywood.